Hello there everyone, this is Phantom Dualcy and today I'm going to be doing What If Issei Snapped? So basically it's like Breaking Point, but not actually at the same time. This is not going to be a part series, I'm making it only a one shot. One shot, that's all. So basically, if I think about it correctly, I can make it a one shot or a series. So yeah, that's all I'm going to say for now. This is going to be the one shot of what if Issei snapped. So we're going to start off at where Issei was going back to his class, and yes, this is after the Riser fight. Then we see a new student there. His name is Ryu. As the teacher explained that to everyone, explain to everyone who is Ryu. As Issei saw Ryu, Issei could sense demonic power from him. As Issei kept quiet, because yesterday Issei confessed to Rias. But she just slapped Issei and told him that she doesn't love him because he is a pervert who doesn't deserve to be loved. As Issei remembered this, Issei was so close to giving up, but he didn't because he has his parents to care about. As Issei went to his club room, then he saw Ryu and Ria's kissing. As Issei went in, went in, Akano said, "Well, Issei, you're just in time." As Rias explained who Ryu is, and everyone was shocked. But then Issei felt a little bit more sad, but he didn't care. As Issei said, "Well, I'm happy for you, Ryu and Rias." As Rias didn't answer Issei, but Ryu said, "Thanks, Issei." But Issei fake put a fake smile. Then them. When Akano Konako Kiba saw this and were worried, as Issei went home, but he saw his house door was open. He then he and he saw his father and mother on the ground with a hole on their chest. As Issei saw his parents smiling at him. Then Issei heard of something moving. As he went outside, he saw a fallen angel on the sky. As Issei said, "Why are you doing this to me? To doing this?" But this fallen angel said, "You will suffer, Red Dragon Emperor." As the angel left. So yeah, this is basically Uchiha trauma, the trauma that the pain that Sasuke went through. As Issei, from all the emotion he was feeling, he went to the Tutamoe Sharingan. As Issei went into a coma. Then we see the police getting there because of the people right next door seeing Issei go into a coma and seeing Issei go unconscious and checking what happened to their family. They saw that his Issei's parents were dead as they took Issei to the hospital room. As we see Issei in a white room walking. Issei's mom and dad couldn't be saved, so they took them to a burial, but Issei wasn't there. As we see Issei walking to a white room, as he says, "I guess it's time for me to go to heaven." Nice. Issei kept walking. We see a person sitting on the ground with a few more people there. As one of them got up and said, "Well, Issei, right?" As Issei nodded at the person. As the person said, "I am Sasuke Uchiha." Then the other person said, "I am Madara Uchiha." Next one, Hitachi Uchiha. The fourth one, "I am Shishui Uchiha." And the last one, "I am Obito Uchiha." Sasuke went to Issei and hugged him. As he said, let it out. I know you're holding back your tears." As Issei let out all his tears. Then he said, "Thank you. I think I needed it. I needed it." As Sasuke said, "I think it's time for us to explain about us." Then they explain everything about their passion of bringing true peace to the world and everything of what they did while they were back alive. What Madara and Obito did by putting everyone in an infinite Tsukuyomi and losing badly to Sasuke. Then they all said who they are, and Issei says, "So you all lost something in your life." Then we see Sasuke saying that 5 years in here is 5 months, as Issei nodded. Then we see Sasuke. Then Sasuke said, "Well, come on, let's train for those 5 years." 5 years in Issei's mindscape is 5 months. Basically, I only need 5 years because there's only five Uchihas, and 5 years is enough to train on all the Uchiha's abilities. Because basically you have a lot of prodigies, and you're basically the reincarnation of a lot of prodigies, meaning Madara, Obito, and Madara and Shisui and Itachi and Sasuke were technically prodigies from back in their day. Obito, I could say less for that, but still, Obito was a good character. Then we skipped 5 months as Issei woke up and said, "Well, Drake, you there?" As Drake appeared on his hand. It's basically like a finger. Imagine a fingerless glove that Kakashi always wears. Yeah, like that. And the jewel that is in the middle of Issei's glove is still there, just that it's more like the glove style. As as Issei said, "Well, training with Madara sure changes things with me in real life." But Sasuke said, "Well, he is the god of Shinobi's back in his time. The no, not the god of Shinobi's, the ghost of the Uchiha back in his time." As Madara laughed, as Issei got up from his hospital bed and saw a black shirt and black pants. As Issei saw, he was so much taller and more muscular than he before. As he said, "Like I ever trained, like I even had muscle when I didn't train." So basically, Issei's abilities are basically Jonin height right now. Issei has the power of a Jonin right now. Not a Jonin. What hell am I saying? Issei has the power to destroy let me think, to destroy Ishiki also Suzuki. If you had it, yeah, basically he has enough strength to defeat the god of the Otsutsuki. Wondering why? You'll see in a few more minutes. Issei is a special Uchiha. As Drake laughed as he said, I didn't, did I?" As Madara, Obito, Itachi, Shishu, and Sasuke with Drake said, "You did not train on anything." As Issei laughed and said, I couldn't disagree with all of you." Then Issei went out of his house, out of the hospital room. As he said, wait, I've said something wrong. Sorry about that. And before Issei could get out of his room, he saw a few people. He he said, "Well, it's been a long time, hasn't it?" Akano Konoko Kiba. When they saw him, they asked him, "Who are you and how do you know us?" First, first, I'm Issei. My parents died 5 months ago. As everyone were shocked to see Issei has black hair. Basically, Issei looks exactly like this man over here. This man. His hair, his hair went from that cuckoo brown and cuckoo hairstyle to a spiky long hair wig. It's basically like Madara. He has the Madara type of spiky hair, but it's short like Sasuke's, but it reaches all the way to his not all the way to his shoulder, maybe all the way to his cheek like that. Yes. As then we see Akano going to hug Issei as Issei hugged Akano. Then she let go of him. Then Issei said, "Well, come on, I need to buy something." Like I explained, Issei is wearing uh black pants and a black shirt. He's basically gonna be looking exactly like this man over here. As Issei said, "Well, come on, I need to buy something." As Akino said, "How are you going to buy something if how are you going to buy something?" As Issei says, "Someone left me money for me." As Kanako said, as Akino said, "Your parents left you money for you." As Issei nodded and said, "I can take us there." As yes, his body flicker or Sunshin is much faster than Shishui's itself. As he, as she, as basically he grabbed Akano on his by her shoulder, and he put his hand on Konako. Then he took Kiba to hold on to Konako as he basically his body flicker strong enough to carry people around. As he body flicker to his house. Then everyone was shocked. Issei then said, "I have power." As Issei, sorry about that. I'm gonna mute again. And now you know what? Let's continue. As Issei looked at, I'm gonna mute again. Sorry about all the noise. As we continue, Issei was at his house. He went to his room and he put on a different shirt and he grabbed the same black jacket that he had over here. As Issei then said, "Well, time to go." Then everyone were shocked. Issei was wearing a lot more different. Usually he would be wearing a lot of colorful stuff, and now he's just wearing all pure black. As Issei said, "So you guys alright?" Then they were looking at Issei with a shocked expression. As they all looked at Issei and said, "Yes, we're all alright." As Issei smiled. We continued to where Issei was going to buy the stuff he needed. As Issei went to buy more of the same clothing that he has on right now. I'm gonna pause again. So basically, we continue. As Issei bought a lot of clothing that is just black and gray, because I think that jacket that he's wearing over is gray and black. Basically, if it's black to you guys, it's black and gray, and like that. Then Issei told them, "Well, I'm ready to go." As everyone was shocked to see the new Issei was so much different than the old one. Then Issei just kept walking. Issei decided to go back home as he told them that he'll be back in school tomorrow. Then they all say goodbye to him as Konako decided to play a prank on Issei to see if he was still a perv as Issei was looking at her from behind. Then she tried something, but Issei just said, "Konako, stop." No, not Konako. Akano, stop. It's not me anymore. So stop playing with me that type of game. She was shocked, but she liked the new Issei, but she still missed the old one. Then we continue to where Issei went back home. He body flickered to his mom and dad's funeral. He he went. I'm gonna mute. So yeah, I found a quieter place to do this because basically all the time that I try to do a what if, there's someone trying to tell me something. So we continue. As Issei as Issei felt bad for his mom and dad, they had to be out of his life for a long time now. As he started to cry, saying that he apologized for everything. He apologized for being a perv. He apologized for doing all this random stuff over the past few years that he has been with them. But they could hear him, but they were in the afterlife already. As Issei just smiled at his mom and dad's grave and said, "I hope you guys live a good life in the afterlife." Then Issei got up and body flickered back home. As we then see, as we then see, so basically we then see Issei going to sleep, and we're skipping to the next day of school. Issei put on the same black shirt and black jacket over it. He just put on regular sneakers that are basically the only thing that has color right now is his sneakers, which are let me. Basically, his sneakers are white and black. As Issei just put them on and put on the school shirt just to be combined with the school, but the black jacket he had it over it. As Issei just said, as Issei just looked at just looked at the school and said, "Good to be back." As Issei went inside the school, every girl and every boy were shocked to see that Izuku to see basically every girl and every boy in school were shocked to see that that not Izuku, Issei was different, not even knowing this was Issei. As Issei said, "Well, it's good to be back to the school, but is there a point of me being back here?" Then the principal comes up to him and says, "Hello, hello there, young man. May I know your name?" As Issei says, "My name is Issei Hyodo." As everyone was shocked, they asked, "How are you, Issei?" Everyone from every class asked, "How are you, Issei? We all know he's just a perv." As Issei said, "You're dumb. You're actually dumb." Then everyone was shocked to see that Issei was heartless. He didn't care about anyone, what they call and what they do. Then we continue as we see as we then see Izuku walking up the stairs. The Candle team try to hit Issei, but Issei then the Kamui and the hit just went past him like nothing happened. He did the Kamui that allows him to go that allows things to go through him, not the Kamui that can damage someone. So we continue. So then we see All My. Not All My. Sorry about that. I've been literally thinking about Deku what if, so I've been saying Oh My. So then we continue. Issei grabbed the Candle Team stick, held the Candle Team leader by the shirt in by at the edge of the stairs as he said, "Hit me again and you will die." As everyone was shocked, the principal wanted to say something to Issei, but Issei's eyes flicked red. Issei's eyes flicked red. Basically, when Issei's eyes flicked red, the teacher was shocked. She said, "Nope, not touching this kid." And yes, if you guys thinking that I'm gonna make Drake leave, nah, I'm leaving him. That can boost his chakra. It's basically like a tail beast. Every time that he powers up like a fire style. Oh yeah, one more thing. He has all the elements. His fire style will go blue when he uses his boosting gear. Yes, I'm making him go to the limit. So then we see Izuku, not Issei. Issei. Issei getting a response from the Kendall team leader as she said, "Yes, I will stop. I will stop. I will stop, please. I will stop." Then Issei smiled at her and said, "Good. Now leave." She literally, when Issei let go of her, she literally She was as fast as Flash when Issei looked at her. Then he looked at the Candle team leader, the other Candle teams who beat him up before, as he said, "Touch me again, and all of you will die." So yeah, as they all decided to get their wait a minute, get their souls out of his way. Yeah, like that. As Issei laughed, and said, "Weak." So yeah, Issei just said. Then Issei looked at everyone else and said, "Anyone else wants to mess with me?" Then all of them just said. Then all of them just looked away and kept with their life. As Issei just said, "Good to be back." Then we continue. Then we see then we see then we see everyone in Issei's class looking at Issei because they weren't outside. As Issei was just humming, like just humming back to his class, back to into his class. As the teacher then looked and said, "Aren't you? I didn't know we were having new students." As Issei then said, "I'm not new. Name Issei Hyoto. New name Issei Uchiha." As Issei said, so yeah, then we see Isu. Then we see, let me say this. Then we see, then we see, is Issei getting stared at by Rias and Ryu because everyone was shocked. They didn't believe that that was Issei. As Ria, and if you guys are gonna comment down below, Rias and Issei weren't in the same classroom. Plot armor, they were. As Ria said, "How are you, Issei?" Then Issei said, mm, "Do I have to tell you?" Then Issei said. Then she said, "Yes, tell me." Then Issei said, "Parents died 5 months ago. Last seen Issei Hyoto last seen at his home, knocked out in a coma." So basically, I was in a coma for a few months. I was I was really not in a coma like stay. I was just don't know how to explain this to you. But don't worry about it. Just keep it in mind that you will never wanna mess with me. As his eyes went red, no one no one could talk no one could say anything to Issei. As Issei said as Issei then talked and said to them, "I am no longer the weakling Issei Hyoto you guys used to mess with. I am I am now the new Issei Uchiha. And if you guys want to be friends with me, like hell I'll be friends with you." As his eyes went red. They didn't even see. He did figure out a way to make his eyes go red without his Sharingan being revealed. So then we continue. As Issei classmates or Issei's friends who used to perv on other girls set, went to Issei and said, "Yo, Issei, Come on, let's go. Let's go to the Kendall team and peep on them. As Issei then said. As Issei then says Tsukiyomi. Yeah, don't worry. It's not gonna be a Tsukuyomi where they're gonna die. I'm not planning on killing them off. Issei just put them in a Tsukuyomi where where they're going to leave their changes of watching girls, or they're gonna regret it as they decide to change it forever. Issei implanted in their minds that doing that is not even worth it. So yeah, for now on, no more pervy or Issei. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Who doesn't love it? So we continue. Issei goes to. Issei then gets up from his class and go to his. He was about to go to his second class as Ryu says, "Well, well, well. Issei Hyoto or Issei Uchiha. Nice name, right?" As Issei says, "Thanks, Ryu. Now, can I please go? I have class." As but then we see Rias getting up and say, "You're not leaving, Issei." As Issei says, as Issei just puts up two fingers, one-handed, and Sunshin away, or or basically, or he just basically body flickers, simple, but faster than a regular, but faster than Shishui. I mean, Shishui, faster than Shishui. Then we continue as Shisui was proud of Issei, but Madara and Sasuke were even more proud. Itachi was just in the back calmly because he knows Issei has the calmness of Itachi. So then we see Issei. We skip a few hours later. We see Issei go into the club room, and remember, this is after the Ricer fight. Yeah, since this is after the Ricer fight, it might be a few parts until we meet Issei's childhood friend, Irina, and Xavier. Yeah, Xavier. I was so close to forgetting the names because when I was writing the what if, I literally wanted it to. So yeah, we continue. As Issei went to the club room, he looks at the club room and says, "Looks like things haven't changed here." Then we see the whole team. Then we see everyone from Issa's Parage going to get their familiars. I think it was after the Riser fight that they got their familiars. But if it's not, I'll do the opposite way. As we continue, Issei. Sorry about the pause. So we continue as where Issei was just taking home. I'm gonna pause real quick. Sorry about the pause. Don't know. I was talking while the screen was paused. Yo, I'm really dumb, am I? So we continue. As like I last left off, Issei was going to buy the clothing, and I think I already skipped that part. So we're gonna go to where Issei go back to his classroom. When Issei woke up the next day. Oh yeah, now I remember what I left off. Issei was waking. Issei woke up. He decided to go visit his mom and dad's grave. As when he went to visit his mom and dad's grave, he started to cry, saying, "I'm sorry, mom. I'm sorry, dad." If I would have seen this happen, I would have helped you. So after a few moments, after a few moments of Issei shedding some tears of not joy, tears of still being alive for his parents, he got up, put on, he got up and went back to his, and basically he just went to his class. As when everyone saw the black haired tall man wearing that black suit, but basically he just has the white shirt that he usually wears in school with the black jacket over it. As everyone was shocked to see this. When I mean this, I mean this. Everyone was shocked to see this. He doesn't have the he don't have the red eyes with her shotguns. He has the black eye, but the thing over here he doesn't have it. Don't worry about it. As Issei, yes, Issei was about to walk in his class. Everyone in his school says everyone in his school says, oh yeah, I forgot to say, I'm gonna be changing the familiar part, and Asia doesn't live with Izuku. Yes, Asia doesn't live with Izuku anymore. Now, Issei, God, I'm sorry guys if I'm saying Issei Izuku. I was saying Issei Izuku because I've been talking with my friend a lot about Izuku, Issei, blah 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 blah. So yeah, I got into a lot of troubles. So I hope you guys can forgive me if I say Izuku. As Issei looked at his school, as everyone saw the black hair man, and they started to blush. As when not Issei reached the class, everyone said, let's say this, everyone said, who is the man? And then we see the principal, yes, the principal saying, hello there, young man. Can you please explain to me, who are you? As Issei said, Issei Hyodo, ma'am. Issei Hyodo. As everyone were shocked. When they heard Issei, they weren't expecting Issei. As the candle team literally went to strike Issei, but Issei caught the stick with his bare hand and broke it. As he then grabbed the candle team leader by her collar of her shirt and said, do that again and you will die. Then everyone in Issei's class, then everyone that saw Issei outside of school were shocked. They couldn't they couldn't manage to get the information on their head that this Issei is no longer the nice Issei. As Issei said, as Issei says, Issei then said to Issei then said to let me Issei then said to to the principal, can I please go to my class? If you guys hear that, it's because someone is literally cooking and making that much noise. As Issei, don't worry, someone's already fixing. As Issei then said to the principal, said that to the principal, as the principal laughed and kept going. Then the teacher told Issei where's his classes because Issei couldn't remember. Then we continue a few moments later. Issei was at his class already as the teacher saw him. And yes, Rios is not in his class, but Ryu is. Don't worry, I'm not bringing Rios just yet. As Rios said, as the teacher said, Issei Hyodo, right? As Issei said, yes. Yes, that is me. Then the teacher said, "Well, your C is next to Ryu." As Ryu, as Ryu just looked at Issei and laughed. Then the teacher just was pure shocked because Issei usually would just look wouldn't focus in the class. As Issei wasn't focusing on Ryu, he was just focusing on basically he was just focusing on the class. As Issei's two best friends, no, old best friends, who perv on girls with him, went to Issei and said, "Who?" Issei said, "Who is that?" Then they thought about it and said, "Oh, Issei, come on, let's go. Let's go. Check on the girls on the candle team." As Issei then said, "Die at hell." As his eyes flickered red. They were all scared of what was gonna come with Issei. Then they got up. Then they got up and went towards Issei. Issei just got up and went towards the door as Rias and her Paraj were in front of Issei. As Issei says, as as Rias said, "Issei, why are you so different?" So we continue to the point where Issei just looked at Rias and said, "Get out of my way." As he pulled his hand out and pushed her to the side and started to walk towards the door. Then Issei looked at, then Issei looked at Akano and said, "See you later." As he went to as the body flickered, everyone was shocked to see that Issei wasn't there anymore. But then this, then, but then they decided to follow Issei. As Issei appeared in front of the Paraj club room, and he was sitting down reading a book. As then we decide to basically we decide to have the familiar picking, as the familiar picking was really funny. We continue. We continue to the point where the familiar picking is. As the Proj came, they teleported all of them to the world where they picked up their familiar. Issei asked for a dragon-like familiar, as this dragon was a half-breed, like it was like Todoroki, a hybrid from fire and no fire and ice. Yeah. Then Issei was told them that he wanted a dragon, like that. Then we continue as not Issei was taken to the dragon, as the dragon looked at Issei and liked them. After a few moments, Lord, after a few moments, yeah, basically after a few moments, the dragon decides to come with Issei, as Issei was glad to have a friend. The dragon the dragon was pretty glad to have Issei as his partner. Issei treated his dragon like a partner. But after a few moments, the dragon then decided to sleep on Issei's head, as Issei was happy. Then the slime that was about to fall on the girls and Issei's barrage, he amaterasu the flame, amaterasu those slimes, burning it. So then we continue to the where everyone was shocked to see that Issei's eyes were red and with three dots on it. As Issei showed his as Issei showed his basically Issei showed his Sharingan, three Tomoe Sharingan as the teacher, not the teacher, everyone in Issei's friend or teammate or Paraj were shocked as Ria said, Issei, is this your full power? So yeah, as Issei said, no, but I'm fine as he deactivated his eyes and said, I'll be seeing you guys late. I'll be seeing you guys back in the Paraj club room as he deactivated his Sharingan and body flicker to the Paraj club room. He was sitting down reading a manga with his dragon as his dragon was just sleeping on his head. Then we continue. After a few minutes of Issei, after a few minutes of Issei wasting time on laying down, sitting down and reading his manga, the Parach came as Issei saw Issei was getting stared at by Rias. As Rias said, Issei, may I speak with you? Yeah, Ryu is the Issei of this what if. Yes, Ryu is the Issei of this what if. Ship is not Rias. Nah, nah, no, no. So then we continue as Issei went with Rias outside. Then Rias said, Issei, may you explain to me how you got this strong? As Issei then said, don't know. Just got strong. Why? Then, then she said, no reason, no reason. Just, just was wondering. And Issei just said, okay. Then we continue. Issei then looks at Rias, who was staring at him for a bit too much. As Issei got annoyed about this and said, Rias Grimmery, why are you staring at me? As Rias then said, I'm not staring at you, Issei. As Issei then said, you are. Just explain to me why are you looking at me? Then she said, okay, okay. R- yeah, then she said nothing. You just look a lot different. As Issei then said, okay. As he went back into the room, Rias came back as well. Akano asked, Rias, what were you and Issei doing? As she said nothing, I just asked him what happened to him. Then then Issei just went back and sat down and started to read his manga again. Then a few moments later, shoot, a few moments later, everything was kind of quietly. As we're gonna skip a month, yay, a month later. Everyone, everything went the same in Tooth Canning until we skip a month later, where we're gonna meet, Sinovia and Irina as they were. This was suddenly one day. Ise was called to his barrage meeting, as the teacher, Ria said, well, Issei, good, good job getting here on time. As she said, where's Ryu? As Ryu got there 2 minutes late. She said, Ryu, you need to get here more time, more early. As she says, sorry. As he says, sorry. Then she said, then Ryu said, okay, you win. So we continue to the point where Issei asks, who are these two mask masked up woman as Ise was they were all shocked to see that Ise could notice that these were girls. As Ise said, well, I know these are girls because They don't look nothing like men, as he said, and as he said this in his head. And sensing ability does help. And they, as everyone has said, Madara Obito, Shishui, Itachi, and Sasuke nodded at that. As we continue, shoot. So we continue to where Rias then says, "Yes, these two ladies will tell us soon." As they explain that they're here to collect they're here to collect the swords that are in their hands, that are on the hands of the devils. So we would like for you to give up to for you to give them to us. As Kiba got pissed and said, "Why would I give you my 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 wait my friends' weapons that took time for them to create?" As Kiba was still pissed. Then Kiba decides to try to leap, but then Issei somehow appears behind in front of Kiba and pushes him to a wall. As he then gives a speech that no one would want to hear. So give me a minute. As Issei then asks, "What is your problem?" As Kiba explained the same thing as he explained in canon. He said, he said everything that he said in canon. As Issei then said, "Wake up to reality. Nothing ever goes as planned in this world. The longer you live, the more you will that realize that reality is just pain made of pain, suffering, and emptiness. People cannot show each other their true feelings. Thinking peace, whistles spilling blood is something that only humans could do. There's two sides." Wait a second. So there's two sides of the coin. To protect something and another must sacrifice. Oh, you know it's fun. It's a part of my plan to start a war to bring peace. Not wait, sorry. That was not what I was meant to do. To protect something another must sacrifice. As when everyone heard that, they were all shocked. Yeah, I literally had to memorize this. So you can't be complaining. I memorized it. So yeah, Issei then gives that speech to Kiba as Kiba was shocked. He never thought that Issei could be this cold-hearted. Uh, then Rias, when she heard that, everything just kept playing through her head. Wake up to reality. Nothing ever goes as planned in this accursed world. The longer you live, the more you will realize what truly exists in this that truly exists in this reality is merely pain, suffering, and futility. Listen, everywhere you look in this world, wherever there is light, there will always be shadows to be found as well. As long as there is a conquest of victors, the vanquished will also exist. The selfish intent of wanting to prefer peace, intent, yeah, that's all I got to say. I really can't say the other ones. As that kept playing through her head over and over and over and over until she gave up. Yeah, I might be bringing a bit of other Uchiha speeches, so get ready. As Issei just said that to him, then Issei said, "I gotta go." As we then go to where Issei is at his house. Issei decides to rebuild it for his own good. As we continue, Issei just said, Issei just then said, Issei then said, well, at least as long as I have a friend or two, I can live in this world. She decided, trust me, I, all this week when I was planning this what if, I been memorizing so many Uchiha quotes that belong to the Uchiha clan members. Trust me, it really was annoying, but I had it too. They are really, those quotes are really interesting. As we continue, then we see then we see then we skip to the next day where Kiba didn't do anything that he did in the anime after hearing the Madara speech. Who's gonna do anything they do? Then Kiba realized every that everyone sometimes has to give up for once. As everything continue. Then we continue to the next day. As Issei went back to the Parage Club room. Then we see Ria's talking to Akano as they were fighting. Then Issei went in, kicked the door down with his bare leg, opening it up, not kicking it up. As everyone was shocked, Issei didn't even care to knock. Then Ria said, "Issei, next time knock." As Issei said, "Does it look like I care?" Then then we continue. As a few moments later, Issei was there at his class as everyone was still looking at him. Even the candle team leaders, they were all pissed that Isuku could do this. So then we continue to a few weeks later because there's nothing really here to do. So you can be blaming me. It's not. This is not a betrayal. So we continue. Then we go to shoot. Give me a second. Give me a second. I'm gonna pause. I have figured something out that I just missed. The part where Irina and Issei meet did happen, but there's one problem. She did not recognize him at first, but when she looked closely, she saw him as she hugged him, but Issei just stared at her and said, "Chituturu. Hello there. Name is Issei Hyoto." As she said, "I know you, doofus." As Issei was like, "Hey, who you calling doofus?" As she said, "You, because you don't even remember your own childhood friend." As Issei just laughed and said, "I do." "Hi, Irina. How was life in your new country?" As she said, "It was great." Then Rias asked, How does she knows her? How does he knows her? He literally explained that they were childhood friends for a long time until she had to move to do her college. As we continue to the next part, which we skip a few weeks later to season 3, where we're gonna have the party and where we meet Sang Wukong and Konako's sister. I am technically having a feeling of wanting to make this a harem, but I can make this a one ship and that's all. Well then, I'll be thinking it over while I do the what if. So we continue as Issei then looks at Akano, and Akano is just there looking at Issei as Issei just thinks, "Am I falling in love with Akano?" Then he's like, "Nah, she might like Ryu, so what's the point?" As Issei put his hands on his pockets and started to walk. So we continue to the next part, which is season 3, the part where they had to clean the beach. As Issei then, oh yeah, over those past few years of Issei training with the top five Uchihas, he mastered his balance breaker and his balance breaker that has the wings, which it was on season 3 where he mastered, but he doesn't need it anymore. He's basically on a level with, how do you call him, the White Dragon Emperor. I forgot his name, and I don't want to know his name. As we continue, Issei doesn't need to use the his balance breaker or anything like that. He doesn't need to use it anymore. He only uses his Susanoo or his Sharingan. Well, if he uses the full power of his Dragon Emperor, of his Goblin or his Dragon Emperor power, he'll kill you in an instant. As Issei were cleaning the pool with all of his classmates, then he's just like, as he did one-handed signs and said, "Shadow Clone Jutsu." As everyone saw, about 200 clones appeared out of nowhere. Issei then kept cleaning. Issei cleaned the whole pool in under a few hours. I'm gonna mute real quick. So yeah, guys, I'm gonna have to say this. I'm going to be making this parts instead. I have thought about it, and I don't think I have time to make a one shot. And if I make a one shot, I really think I'm going to forget. You know what? This is going to be the first movie of the one shot. So we continue until we continue. So then we see Issei cleaning the pool. There's gonna be two movies. The next one will be released tomorrow, as Issei cleans the pool in under a few hours. As everyone were shocked, then Issei just jumps into the air and lands on his feet. As he then went to the changing room and takes off his shirt and his puts on his bathing suit as he was going to the pool to swim. As Akano did the same thing in canon, she tried to get Issei to be hers. As Issei kind of had a crush on her now, and a crush on Konoko as well. You know what? I have thought about it, and I'm gonna make this a harem now. So yeah, it's basically now it's gonna be a harem. So don't worry, a harem. If any of you guys are gonna comment down below saying why a harem, just think about it. Why would I change all of High School DxD history? I know that I have done only one ship in the past few years of High School DxD, of my High School DxD what is, but I am not going to be doing a hair. I'm not going to be doing a harem all the time. So this is going to be my harem for Issei. As he had a crush on Konoko and Akano. As Issei just fell for it and started flirting with Akano. As Akano saw that Issei was flirting with her, she just kept going with it until Issei decides to ask her on a date. She was shocked. Rias was shocked as well. Kiba was shocked as well. And Konako was jealous. Yes, yes, yes. The only reason why I'm saying Konako would even want to date Issei is because he's no longer a perv. Yes, perv Issei no longer exists. As we continue, Issei then tells her that he'll be meeting her this certain street at this time. As Akano agrees with this, knowing that she finally gets to be with the person she loves, because as we all know in the anime, she loves Issei. So I'm not gonna change that history. As Issei has Drake and all of his people that he considers family in his set, which are Madara, Obito, Itachi, Shisui, and Sasuke. Listen, he considers Sasuke's father, not letting the other one know. Sasuke then said, "Well, kid, look at that. You might sell yourself a harem if you keep going with those looks of yours." As Issei blushed and said, "Shut it." Then they all laughed as Drake laughed and said, "Whoa, look like you might looks like you might find true love, partner." As Issei smiled and said, "Yes, maybe I might find true love." So we're gonna skip the whole changing and everything. The only thing that he was wearing was this black everything. As Issei said, "Well, I think I'm ready." As he went to the street that he gave Akano, when Issei saw Akano, he kind of had it a nosebleed, but he wiped it as fast as Shishui could body flicker. Then Shishui said, Wow. Never thought that I would say this, but boy, you need to stop. You need to stop and just go ask her to be your girlfriend. As Itachi agree with this, and Sasuke as well. Obito as well. Obito, the simp above all simps. A person that started a war over one girl. That's what I call a true simp. As we continue, then we see Issei and Akuno having a lot of fun until they got into a water fountain. Basically, those water fountain when you throw a coin and make a wish. As Issei gave a coin to Akuno, then Akuno made a wish. As Issei asks, "What are you made a wish for?" As she then tells Issei to get closer and closer and closer until Issei reaches her mouth. Until Issei reaches her mouth and said, and basically she kissed Issei on the lips. As she said, "I wish for that." Oh yeah, and basically the people that are going to be added onto the ship is going to be Akano main, Irina second, Konako third, maybe sooner or later. Rosa Wise or Rosa Wise fourth, and don't really know who should be the fifth. So you guys can comment down below because this is going to be the first movie of it, part one of the movie. Second movie will be out tomorrow. Don't worry. As Issei then Issei and Kona Akano were having a fun time until Akano had to go with Issei back. Had to go with Issei had to take Akano back home. As Akano didn't want to go back to her house. If you know where I'm going with this, don't even think about it and don't think about it. As Issei then tells Akano that she could stay with him, as she just listened to him and told him, "Let's go." As she took Issei by the hand and started to run for his house. Then Issei told her this is the house. She saw that it was all remodeled from the inside. As she said, "Wait, how was it all changed?" Then we continue as Issei then laughed. Then Issei just said, "Well, I'll be sleeping. You can sleep on my bed, and I'll be sleeping on the couch. So see you tomorrow." As she grabbed him by the shirt and said, "You're sleeping with me, silly." As Issei, when he heard this, he was like, "Oh no." So yeah, not happening. If any of you out there are thinking you guys are thinking, not happening. I swear to God, not happening. As Issei then said, "Well, good night, Akuno." Akuno. She got closer to Issei and said, "Hug me." As Issei was like, "Fine." As he hugged. I can't talk today. He hugged Akuno, and they fell asleep like that. Let's just say a few people were watching. It was Konako, Kiba, Rias, and Ryu, as they were all shocked to see this. From this day on, they were dating. Konako thought she didn't have a chance to date Izuku. Date Issei. Like I was explaining him a few minutes or hours in my video. I'm sorry if I'm saying too much Izuku. As Issei then says, "Well then, Issei." Well, as Issei woke up and said, "Well then." As he said, and he said, "Well then, Issei, you have managed to find yourself a pretty nice girl." He was in his head. I am proud of myself. I am really proud of myself. As as all the Uchihas that were listening were laughing. They literally said, "Wow. So you're proud of yourself, huh?" As then we see Sasuke saying, "Well, kid, you actually managed to Find yourself, you actually managed to find yourself a pretty nice girl. As he then facepalmed and said, "Oh Lord, I don't know why I even marry Sakura." As Itachi said, "Sasuke, if you didn't marry Sakura, you would have just been being a bad father." As Sasuke says, "Shut it, older brother." As Itachi smiled and said, that's my younger brother." As Issei said, "Well then, that's how life is, isn't it, right?" As they all nodded and said, "Life has always been like this for us, Uchiha, hasn't it?" As they all nodded and they say yes. So then I really, yeah. So this is going to be the end of part one, the movie. Thank you guys for watching. This is Phantom Duels here, and goodbye.